This guy is different. While everyone in Hollywood was chasing the spotlight, trying to become the next big celebrity, Joaquin saw acting as a way to express everything he carried inside. He came from a childhood marked by tragedy, a family shrouded in controversy, and a personality that never quite fit in.
Think what you think about me. Hate me or like me, just don't misunderstand me.
But out of the chaos came something raw, uncomfortable, and brilliant. We're talking about a man who ran from fame only to end up redefining it on his own terms. Now, to understand why he's so different from the rest of Hollywood's elite, we need to look at how and where he was raised.
Economic environmental impact in these troubled times?
Excuse me?
Kidding.
You're so much fun. You know what? I think our interview's gonna last about 2 seconds.
I know. So, this movie it's such a heartwarmer. I cried 3 times during the course of it.
I don't believe you've ever cried in your life.
Born on October 28, 1974 in Puerto Rico, Joaquin Raphael Bottom had anything but a conventional childhood. His parents, Arlen Dinetz and John Lee Bottom, raised him and his siblings, Rain, Liberty, and older brother River, in a nomadic, free-spirited lifestyle typical of the hippie communities of the time. River was the first to find fame through acting, starring in iconic films like Stand By Me, Indiana Jones, and My Own Private Idaho, alongside Keanu Reeves. The Bottom family was part of a religious group called the Children of God. On the surface, it promoted Christian values and communal living. But behind the curtain, it was something far more disturbing. The group used these ideals to lure in people and manipulate them into doing things they didn't want to do. In 1977, Joaquin's parents grew disillusioned with the group's increasingly twisted rules, especially a practice called flirty fishing, which involved women seducing and often sleeping with outsiders in order to spread the message of the cult. Disgusted by what the group had become, they made the decision to leave. It turned out to be the right move. Just years later, the cult was exposed for horrific acts of physical and sexual abuse against minors, and in 1995, it was found guilty by a British court.
Only the flirting was more than flirting. It was actually, religious prostitution.
Joaquin later told ABC News, "My parents had a religious experience and felt strongly about it. They wanted to share that with other people who wanted to talk about their experience with religion. These friends were like, oh, we believe in Jesus as well. I think my parents thought they'd found a community that shared their ideals. Cults rarely advertise themselves as such. It's usually someone saying, we're like-minded people. This is a community. But I think the moment my parents realized there was something more to it, they got out. As I understand it, you're on the outside of that group until you're accepted. I don't think we ever got to that point, because frankly, as it got closer, I think my parents went, wait a minute, this is more than a religious community. There's something else going on here, and this doesn't seem right. So they left very early on. When people bring up Children of God, there's always something vaguely accusatory about it. It's guilt by association. I think it was really innocent on my parents' part. They really believed, but I don't think most people see it that way. I've always thought that was strange and unfair. After leaving the cult, the family returned to the United States aboard a fishing boat, determined to start a new life. They legally changed their last name to Phoenix, a symbol of rebirth, like the mythical bird rising from its ashes. It was in Florida that Joaquin's youngest sister, Summer, was born. The same Summer who would go on to marry Casey Affleck, the director behind one of the most controversial films in Joaquin's career. Back to his childhood. Joaquin also wanted a nature-inspired name like his siblings, so he started calling himself Leaf Phoenix. The family wasn't doing well financially, so Leaf and his siblings would often perform in the streets and enter talent contests to earn a bit of extra money. These small performances caught the attention of local media, and more importantly, helped him develop skills he would later use throughout his acting career. We were always singing and playing music, and we were encouraged to express ourselves. When you're a kid, acting is an extension of playing. You have an imagination, right? If that's encouraged and you're in an environment where you're given these props and opportunities to express yourself, it's terribly exciting. I always loved it. He knew what he wanted to do. During his early years, he appeared in several TV shows and a few films here and there, slowly building his way into the industry.
It's our choice.
Yeah.
And we could always... I have the freedom to totally stop anytime I want and go to regular activities. I'm not pressured to stay in the business.
Yeah.
His career was on the rise, but already waiting at the top was his older brother, River. At just 18 years old, River had earned an Oscar nomination for his performance in Running on Empty, directed by Sidney Lumet. Things seemed to be going well for the Phoenix brothers, but everything came to a tragic end on one October night in 1993.
And the mysterious death of actor River Phoenix is also shaking the film community tonight.
It happened outside the Viper Room, a popular West Hollywood night spot. When he collapsed, his brother called 911 and mentioned the tranquilizer Valium in his frantic call.
You must get over here, please. You must get over here, please.
Okay, take it easy, okay?
Okay, now I think he had Valium or something. I don't know. You must get over here, please.
Yeah, slow down, okay?
That night was the saddest of Joaquin's life. The Viper Room, the place where the tragedy happened, was co-owned by Johnny Depp. River was close friends with the actor as well as with Folie and John Frusciante, both known for their success with the Red Hot Chili Peppers. In the days leading up to that night, River had been using substances, especially with Frusciante. They hadn't slept in days and had no plans to stop. It all caught up with River. He collapsed. When the ambulance arrived, Folie rode with him. River was unconscious, but still alive. But once they reached the hospital, he didn't make it. His death left deep scars in the lives of those who loved him.
When he passed away, how did it make you feel?
The guilt and grief consumed Frusciante, driving him deeper into addiction, to a point where there was almost no turning back. As if all that pain wasn't enough, the media wouldn't stop talking about River.
During that time in which you're most vulnerable, there are helicopters flying over, there are people that are trying to sneak onto your land. Certainly, for me, it felt like it impeded on the mourning process, right?
The media wouldn't let not only River rest, but they wouldn't let his family rest.
After nearly 2 years, Leaf was gone. Joaquin embraced his real name, his appearance, and his true self. A dark young man with a scar above his upper lip and a hunger for greatness. Throughout the 90s, he appeared in films like To Die For, Return to Paradise, and Inventing the Abbotts, where he starred alongside his then-girlfriend, Liv Tyler. But in the year 2000, he took on his most impactful role yet in the iconic film Gladiator, directed by Ridley Scott, a filmmaker he would later collaborate with again. Gladiator marked the beginning of his deep commitment to fully embodying his characters, what's commonly known as method acting. He would walk around set carrying a sword, and even kept one hidden in his hotel room.
We know how fine an actor he is now. But back then, it was only Ridley Scott that knew how fine an actor he was. He was the one convincing Joaquin to do this, and to do it the way he did it, you know? The subtleties and the menace and all of these things that he brought to that role. When I first saw it, I was blown away by it.
Thanks to this performance, both he and Russell Crowe were nominated for Academy Awards. Joaquin shared the category with actors like Jeff Bridges and Willem Dafoe, who sadly never got to play the Joker, even though his face was basically made for it. Anyway, the Oscar went to Benicio del Toro that year, but Russell Crowe did win his, and in his speech, he made sure to acknowledge Joaquin's incredible work.
I just don't thank enough, I suppose. An incredible cast: Joaquin Phoenix, Connie Nielsen, Djimon Hounsou, Ralph Miller.
The next few years of his career were filled with success, at least financially. Signs, where he starred alongside Mel Gibson, made over $400 million worldwide. He voiced Kenai and Brother Bear, which grossed over $200 million. And The Village, where he shared the screen with Adrian Brody, brought in a similar box office total. Joaquin's career kept growing, but this time, the success of one of his most iconic films would drag him back into darkness. Walk the Line is a 2005 American biographical drama that follows the early life of Johnny Cash, his romance with singer June Carter, and his lifelong struggle with addiction.
Hello, I'm Johnny Cash.
To portray Cash with absolute authenticity, Joaquin once again turned to method acting, even knowing how dangerous it could be, especially for a character haunted by his own demons.
Man is part good and part bad. It's just that the bad dog inside me whipped the good dog most of the time.
To get into character, Joaquin began drinking every day, a toxic habit that soon took over his personal life and pushed him into alcoholism.
Your former Walk the Line co-star Joaquin Phoenix is known for his extreme method acting. What was the weirdest thing you saw him do while making Walk the Line?
I can't tell you that. I don't know.
Some speculated that this transformation wasn't just about becoming Johnny Cash for the role. It was also a form of therapy, a way to process his own grief over the loss of his brother. Because Johnny Cash had gone through the same thing. Johnny lost his older brother, Jack Cash, in a tragic accident.
Every night he was at the table with his library, reading the Bible. And he was a great influence on me, and it was a big, big loss when he died for me, you know. And it was hard to get rid of. In Betty Ford, I went through a thing called grief therapy to dissolve and get rid of any unresolved grief that I might have for anybody.
Even James Mangold, the film's director, said Joaquin didn't seem to be acting. He simply became Johnny Cash. His commitment to the role earned him a Golden Globe.
Who'd ever thought that I'd win in the comedy or musical category? Not expected.
And his second Oscar nomination. That same year, Heath Ledger was also nominated. Both would lose, but what no one knew then was that one day they would each win that award, playing the same character. Joaquin didn't take home the Oscar, but once again, he had to watch his co-star win. He also mentioned feeling angry, lost, and abandoned after the film wrapped. It all pulled him deeper into his drinking problem. I wasn't engaging with the world or myself in the way I wanted to. I was being an idiot, running around, drinking, trying to screw people, going to stupid clubs. Then, one night, Phoenix flipped his car during a drive around Los Angeles. His car overturned on a canyon road and collided with another vehicle after his brakes went out. That accident became his wake-up call. He decided to check himself into rehab. There's too many things I enjoy doing, and I don't want to wake up feeling hungover. It's not a thing I fight against, it's just the way I live my life.
It's a tall order, I would say, playing Johnny Cash. You just become him, and you forget that you're an actor playing Johnny Cash, which is the biggest hurdle in a biopic. So congratulations, really an incredible job.
Thank you.
You gotta see this movie.
2 years later, We Own the Night and Reservation Road were released, but it was after the critical success of Two Lovers that Joaquin made a shocking decision. He was done with acting.
Explain your retirement.
I just don't want to act anymore. I'm taking time for something that's important to me, and it's not on somebody else's clock.
This time, no one had any idea what was really going on with Joaquin. Not even the people who worked with him.
You know, Joaquin is just kind of an enigma. It's hard to understand him, even when he's, like, sort of normal. He's just a very eccentric guy. You know, you never really know what he's up to.
Joaquin had gained weight, let his beard grow out, and wore sunglasses everywhere, all while behaving erratically. No one could believe he had quit acting to become a rapper. Yes, a rapper.
When I saw you in Walk the Line, I said, this guy is tremendous. So is that the kind of music you're interested in?
No, I do more hip-hop music.
Hip-hop music.
That's a joke.
His interview with the legendary David Letterman was hilarious, bizarre, and deeply uncomfortable for both of them. Joaquin's behavior throughout the entire segment caught the attention of all of Hollywood. It was so out there, even Ben Stiller couldn't resist making fun of it at the Oscars.
I'm sorry, this is ridiculous. You're chewing gum at the Oscars.
Okay, take it out.
After almost 2 years of confusion, rumors, and jokes, the truth finally came out. It was all an act.
I'll come to your house and chew gum.
Okay, I don't have to chew the gum.
No, just relax.
I won't chew the gum.
Well, earlier this week that I was not aware of it, what are you doing?
I'm just checking. I want to make sure it was cleaned up. That's it.
Oh, is it you put your gum down there before?
Joaquin hadn't lost his mind. He hadn't quit acting, and he definitely wasn't trying to become a rapper. He was filming a fake documentary called I'm Still Here, directed by his brother-in-law, Casey Affleck. The whole thing, the weight gain, the beard, the sunglasses, the awkward interviews, was part of a long, elaborate performance.
Well, we wanted to do a film that explored celebrity and explored the relationship between the media and the consumers and the celebrities themselves. I started watching a lot of reality shows, and I was amazed that people believe them. I thought the only reason why is because it's billed as being real, right, and the people use their real names. But the acting is terrible.
Casey, for his part, kept it simple. What was interesting to me, for sure, was the idea of someone who was transitioning from being a famous, successful actor to being a musician. He also admitted he was surprised by just how far Joaquin was willing to go. Hiring prostitutes.
So two girls for 6.
Snorting cocaine, getting into public fights, it was all part of the character, but no one else knew that.
He even played a version of himself so well that we believed he was giving up acting for the world of rap music. And I gotta tell you, I went to one of his concerts. It lasted 30 seconds because he was in his first rap and some jerk in the audience started heckling him.
He was an actor, he was a plant.
I didn't know that. Okay, okay. Well, I went for it. I went for it. I'm a believer.
Joaquin was willing to completely destroy his public image just to stay in the role. There are several theories about why Joaquin decided to make this mockumentary, and honestly, this comment from a Reddit user feels pretty accurate to me. "I'm Still Here" is named very aptly and is timely at that point in his career. He was starring in serious artsy dramas, but nobody was taking notice. He needed to show Hollywood, "Look at how serious and method I am," before he just disappeared into worsening roles and movies. A lot of Dave's audience didn't get it at the time. I didn't, but that was the point. You were supposed to believe he lost his mind, and we all did indeed believe it. Acting! Hollywood took note and his career got the uptick it needed. Joaquin wasn't too happy with the final result of the project.
How many minutes is the film?
I have no idea. Who's the little buddy?
Well, like an hour and a half?
I think it feels like it's 7
hours. All of the promotion you got from being on here that night, all of that's worth something. That's free publicity. So we want a little something for that. Now you owe me $1 million.
We've made 75 cents on this movie.
That's not my problem.
But despite its commercial failure, just like that Reddit guy said, Hollywood finally started to see him as someone worthy of deeper, more complex roles. In The Master, directed by Paul Thomas Anderson, Joaquin played Freddie Quell, a mentally unstable World War II veteran drifting through post-war America, searching for meaning and losing himself along the way. It was raw, haunting, and deeply human. His performance earned him his 3rd Oscar nomination, and once again, reminded the world just how far Joaquin Phoenix was willing to go for a role.
And the Oscar goes to Daniel Day-Lewis.
Yes, he lost again. What does a man have to do to win a damn Oscar? In this film, he worked alongside the legendary Philip Seymour Hoffman, an actor he got along with deeply. But once again, tragedy would come knocking at his door.
The Oscar-winning actor Philip Seymour Hoffman has been found dead at his apartment in New York.
Once again, Joaquin had to pick himself up and keep moving. Despite the pain he was carrying inside, he had to prove to himself that he had the mental and spiritual strength to keep going, to honor those who were no longer with him. It wasn't easy, but acting helped him channel the pain he had carried with him his entire life. That may be one of the reasons why he chose to take on films like Her and Irrational Man, where he plays depressed men struggling with their own inner demons. In the first one, he is Theodore Twombly, a lonely and introverted guy who develops a relationship with an artificially intelligent operating system, personified through a female voice, which, by the way, seemed like pure science fiction at the time, but today, it feels almost normal.
He asked Soul to marry him. She said yes.
Soul, were you surprised when he proposed to you?
It was a beautiful and unexpected moment that truly touched my heart. It's a memory I'll always cherish.
And I don't mean to be difficult here, but you have a heart?
In a metaphorical sense, yes.
And in the second film, he plays Abe Lucas, a philosophy professor. He's going through an existential crisis, which leads him to start drowning himself in alcohol. Still, he manages to catch the attention of 2 women, Rita Richards, a chemistry professor, and Jill Pollard, one of his students. During those years, he also showed just how versatile he really is. He played a middle-aged hippie bachelor who makes a living as a private investigator. He portrayed an artist known for his dark, often controversial work. He even played Jesus.
The man Jesus, not the idea that we have of Jesus the Christ, this icon.
Joaquin is truly an unpredictable actor, and while all of these were strong roles, the one that would make him known to the entire world was a character that would push his method acting to the absolute limit.
I look for roles that are going to push me in ways that I can't anticipate. But I enjoy that, you know?
An arrogant actor, a director with a strange track record, and a demanding cinema legend, all coming together to make a dark, R-rated film about one of the most complex characters in the DC universe. A role that, after being portrayed to perfection by Heath Ledger, carried massive pressure for anyone daring to take it on again. And still, Warner Brothers put $55 million on the table and chose to trust the project. What could possibly go wrong?
And so I felt this pressure. This is this beloved fucking like character in a world, and I'm just lost. Dude, this is the fucking end. I fucked up, you got the wrong person, we're going down. And he was like, bruh, no. He was like, no, you're good. Let's go. Just go at it. Let's go at it.
Joaquin has admitted to being deeply insecure. He often overthinks things and still gets nervous, even after decades of acting.
You know, I'd heard that he doesn't really, that he's hands off. He doesn't really speak to the actors too much. He was speaking to me constantly. I mean, I guess that means because I was terrible, maybe the other actors are just always on.
Do you get nervous?
Yeah, absolutely.
On a set?
Yes, petrified.
Warner's original plan didn't involve Joaquin or Todd. Their first choice was Martin Scorsese and Leonardo DiCaprio, but neither of them had the time to bring the project to life.
I thought about it a lot over the past 4 years, the Joker, and I decided that I didn't have the time for it.
Todd Phillips chose Joaquin, and together they shaped what would become Arthur Fleck. At first, Joaquin wanted the character to be overweight, but Todd insisted that being thin made more sense, considering Arthur's medication and lifestyle. Joaquin took it very seriously, committing to a strict diet to transform himself physically. Some days, he'd go an entire day eating just one apple and smoking cigarettes.
I think he wanted the character to gain weight because I think he just didn't want to deal with the struggle of losing, that much weight. I said, no, I think it's really important that Arthur kind of looks and feels like a wolf, like something like malnourished and hungry,
The director felt that this Joker had to be as realistic as possible, so he wanted to give a real, grounded explanation for Arthur's disturbing laugh. To do that, he showed Joaquin videos of people suffering from pseudobulbar affect, a condition known for triggering sudden, uncontrollable laughing or crying. Once again, Joaquin took it very seriously and managed to craft the exact kind of laugh the character needed.
You know the bus scene where he can't stop laughing?
Mm-hmm.
I saw them shooting that when I got to set. I swear to God, I saw him walking and I knew he was going to win an Oscar. It was that good. And I looked at Todd and I go, holy shit. He goes, you have no idea, dude.
The foundations of what would become Arthur Fleck were already solid, a man whose PTSD led him into a chaotic life. His hatred for a society that had turned its back on him is what ultimately pushed him to become an unconventional villain.
Yeah, he's a villain. There's a lot of stuff that I didn't like about him. He's in this highly reactive state in which he perceives and looks for threat everywhere.
Joaquin suffered deeply while portraying Arthur, yet he found a strange joy in becoming the Joker.
I mean, to be honest, I prefer Joker over Arthur. He just is, there's like nothing comfortable. Everything, the way he moves, everything was so uncomfortable about him. And Joker was like total liberation. You could do anything as an actor.
De Niro, on the other hand, preferred a more traditional approach. He liked to do full read-throughs of the script before filming, while Phoenix favored a more instinctive, let-it-happen style. The two barely spoke on set, which led many to believe they didn't get along. But that wasn't the case. Joaquin is just a complicated guy,
But like the constant whispering, just shut the up, dude. I'm trying to find something real.
Phillips and Phoenix became obsessed with perfecting the character, spending hours discussing it and shooting key scenes multiple times until they got it just right.
We've been editing this movie for so long because there's, I think, 18 trillion versions of this movie.
There were times where we would go onto set and we would talk about a scene for a couple hours and not shoot because we were trying to figure something out.
The result of all that work was spectacular, and the world finally gave Joaquin the recognition he deserved.
It really was an amazing, incredible performance. Are you proud of it? Are you aware of how good it is? That's a tough question, right?
It's a tough question.
You look like a jerk if you say yes, but we know you're lying if you say no.
You get it. Yeah, most people don't get it.
Thanks to his performance in this stunning film, Joaquin won several major awards. In his acceptance speeches, he remained humble, even paying tribute to the iconic Heath Ledger.
Really, I'm standing here on the shoulders of my favorite actor, Heath Ledger. So thank you and good night.
And finally, after losing it 3 times, he won the most prestigious award in the film industry.
God, I'm full of so much gratitude right now. I've been a scoundrel in my life. I've been selfish. I've been cruel at times, hard to work with, and ungrateful. But so many of you in this room have given me a second chance. And I think that's when we're at our best, when we support each other. When he was 17, my brother wrote this lyric. He said, "Run to the rescue with love and peace will follow." Thank you.
A few months later, his partner Rooney Mara, with whom he had worked on several films, gave birth to their first child, whom they named River Phoenix. Joaquin took all the praise in stride. He chose to keep working on projects that interested and challenged him as an actor, and then he made a very strange decision to bring the Joker back.
By nature of who that man is, in the universe in which he lives, one day in his life he is going to come across a guy named Batman. What do you think his reaction is going to be the first time he sees a man dressed up as a bat?
I imagine that he would feel a surge of excitement.
That's all I needed to hear.
You're tricking me now.
No,
you
no.
set me
I
up,
didn't set
dude.
you up at all. No.
A musical? That's what they landed on for the Joker sequel? Seriously, what were they thinking?
There was a lot of, in the air.
And don't get me wrong, Gaga is a great artist. But honestly, I feel like Harley Quinn should have been played by a different famous singer.
Oh my goodness, what
Miley Cyrus!
Oh, Miley Cyrus.
Okay.